Hello, my name is Mark Holloway. I work at the Centre for Academic English at the University of Hertfordshire, and in this video we will be looking at the all-important topic of noun phrases. Now I say all-important, and this is why. So back at the very end of the last century, a huge study was done into kind of use of written and spoken English. A publication called the Longman Grammar of Written and Spoken English includes kind of a number of different charts like this. What you see here is a comparison of different types of texts, so fiction, news articles, academic writing, and spoken conversations. An analysis of these different types of communication found that nouns were used much more frequently in written English than in spoken English. And something we've seen over the last 100 years, in many types of communication, there's been an increase in the kind of frequency of verbs compared to other parts of speech. But in academic text, it's the opposite. There's been an increase in the kind of density of nouns and noun phrases in academic texts. So now more than ever, nouns and noun phrases, we need to talk about noun phrases, not individual nouns, do a lot more of the work in academic texts, whether you're writing or reading. Not an academic text for us to start with, but you may have seen this expression before. I'll give you a second to think about why this might be an interesting sentence. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Well, you might not think this is interesting, but I've chosen this sentence because it may be quite famous as a sentence which includes every letter in the alphabet. So the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog is a really useful sentence to write if you're learning how to type and you want to find where letters are on a keyboard. I want to use it here today to introduce the concept of noun phrases, because you might know that there are two nouns in this sentence. That's the fox and the dog. But you might not have studied before or considered before the fact that the quick, brown, and the lazy are really important elements of the word fox and dog here. This sentence is, I guess, about an action, which is jumping, but who does the action? The quick brown fox. That's one noun phrase. What does it jump over? The lazy dog. That's another noun phrase. Before we continue with our main focus on noun phrases, a quick word here on collocation. And note that I said a quick word. We don't tend to say a fast word or a short word. Real world use of English tells us that quick is an adjective that collocates with word, but fast and short do not. Collocate here just refers to words frequently being found together. They are that's together, located. Now, my favourite definition of collocation is that it refers to the company that words keep. Quick word, fast car, short break, and quick and fox collocate in a way that lazy and fox do not. Okay, so there's a reason why we spoke about collocations. They're a really important feature of language, but they're also linked to the topic we're going to explore, noun phrases, in as our context. Can you think of any adjectives that collocate with shower? Shower. What's the first thing that comes into your head? Now, you're unlikely to have a warm place in your heart for a cold shower, but you may well have found cold on the tip of your tongue. A cold shower is a fairly common collocation. Yeah. Now, traditionally, at least in English-speaking cultures, cold showers are associated with a little bit of suffering, but longer-term benefits. It feels like a metaphor. Now, in a recent article published in The Conversation, here is the article, University of Hertfordshire academic Lindsay Bottoms considers whether research supports the assumption that cold showers are indeed good for us. Now, you might be able to guess some of the themes of the article from the following noun phrases taken from the text. You might want to pause here, read the phrases, and try to imagine how they might connect to one another. Now, of course, as you're reading these noun phrases, you will no doubt be noticing that they range from very short one-word expressions to very long expressions. So we go from doctors to being a device used to inflict unpleasantness for an hour and a half. So we need a way to kind of make sense or start to make sense of some of these longer noun phrases. So doctors, the shower, cold showers, they might be quite easy, but those who took a warm shower, the practice of taking a cold shower for health benefits, as a noun phrase gets longer, it can be a little bit harder to process. And that can, if we don't know how to process a noun phrase and we don't know how noun phrases are structured, we might find that our reading is slowed down, our comprehension becomes limited. And if we want to produce phrases like this in our writing, we might find that we make more mistakes than we would like. So let's look at the structure of noun phrases. Every noun phrase has a head noun. Now, unsurprisingly, if the noun phrase only has one word, then the one word is the head noun. Number one, doctors. And if we look at number two, the shower, probably not surprising that shower is the head noun. And in cold showers, showers is the head noun. What I'd like you to do is just pause the video, have a look through the rest of the noun phrases and see if you can identify the head noun in each line. Okay, I have of course prepared answers for you, and underlined here are all the head nouns. So the head nouns are doctors, shower, showers, reasons, washing, brains, century, inmates, being, shower, people, those, way, practice, one, benefits, device, and being again. So this may be a good time to pause the video and compare the answers to your expectations. Now, a few things to point out. There are a few different ways that we add details to a noun phrase to give more information about the noun. We've only got one example here where there's just one noun by itself, that's number one. Everything else, we have some information or detail either before or after the head noun. And what you might notice, you might see a pattern down the screen. If I just focus in again. With shorter noun phrases, so you look at examples 1 to 8, the head noun is in most of these cases the final word in the noun phrase. But with longer noun phrases, you'll see the head noun comes quite early in the noun phrase and might come before a preposition. So look at the different ways that we modify a noun in a noun phrase. We use articles like the and a, so the shower, a shower, the early 19th century, a way, a pretty unpleasant way, the practice, a device. We also have adjectives. Now, these are usually found before the noun, like cold shower or cold showers, unpleasant way. But we also have some examples here of an adjective coming after a noun. So we've got number 16, health benefits, both physical and mental. You'll see sometimes we use what's called a pre-modifying noun, so a noun that modifies another noun, a noun that's behaving like an adjective. So that would be the case with health, reasons, prison, inmates. Examples like that. We also typically find that we can add detail after a head noun using, for example, a preposition. So a cold shower in the morning, pleasant way to start the day, the practice of taking a cold shower. This is an aspect of noun phrase creation where pattern grammar is really important, something called colligation, which I've spoken about in another videos or in other videos. You also see relative clauses, so that would include a device used to inflict pleasantness. That's a reduced relative clause because it would normally be a device which is used to inflict pleasantness. But in academic texts and even in journalistic text, there's a word limit, so we often find if there's a way to make something shorter, writers use it. But example number 11, people who took a cold shower, and 12, those who took a warm shower. The who is the beginning of a relative clause, and that's a very common way to add information after a head noun. So there you go. We've seen, just from a couple of paragraphs of our article by Lindsay Bottoms, we've explored a range of different noun phrases, different lengths, and different ways of adding detail to a head noun. But if you'd like to see how those noun phrases appear in context, of course you can pause the video now, or you can look at the article online. Look at these in context. I think you'll find, I hope you agree, that identifying the head noun in a noun phrase is key to understanding how every noun phrase functions in a sentence. So, for example, the final paragraph on the screen begins with, and yet the practice of taking a cold shower for health benefits never truly went away. Now, with a complex noun phrase like this, you might wonder, hang on, what never truly went away? What didn't go away? Benefits didn't go away, health didn't go away, the shower didn't go away. Well, if we go back to our answers on the previous slide, have a look at number 14, that's our noun phrase, the practice of taking a cold shower for health benefits. The head noun here is practice, the kind of the activity, the tendency or the habit of doing this. If we go back to the article, so it's the practice of taking a cold shower never truly went away. So people kept doing it. So if you're reading a long sentence with a long complex noun phrase in the subject or object position, you get to the end of the sentence and you think, I didn't really understand that. Go back to your noun phrases, just separate them out, consider what's the head noun, look at how the head noun links to the verb, and hopefully it should help you to understand the meaning. At the bottom of the screen here, you'll see the question, but what does the evidence show? And just as a little experiment, let's see how this text continues, and let's see if we can understand where the text is going just by looking at the noun phrases. So I want to consider, can we use noun phrases as a kind of key to reading and reading quickly? Have a look. So the question is, what does the evidence show? And these are the noun phrases in order in the paragraph that follows. By all means, pause the video and take your time to read. But yeah, these are all the noun phrases from the paragraph that follows. Read each noun phrase and consider, what is that paragraph about? Can you follow that paragraph just by looking at the noun phrases? Now let's compare that to the verbs. If you only look at the verbs, do these verbs give you an idea of the main content of that paragraph? Now, you might clearly remember what all the noun phrases were, and so you can join them all together. But I would suggest that if I showed you just these verb phrases, it would be difficult to guess what a paragraph was about. But if I showed you only these noun phrases, then I think you'd get an idea that the paragraph is about a large study from the Netherlands And the study looked at the time people took off due to sickness. Maybe a group of over 3,000 people were studied. The study involved 4 groups, and we can see what the different groups might have been and what they might have done. And that 64% might be the conclusion of the study. And here is the text. You can read it now with the noun phrases and the verb phrases together. And hopefully that shows you something about the importance of noun phrases in this kind of writing. Before we go, looking back at those verb phrases, if you're interested in why it's split into, ask to, end with, continue with, well, on another occasion we'll look together at the notion of colligation or pattern grammar. Earlier I spoke about collocation. I said collocation is the company that words keep. Well, if collocation is the company that words keep, colligation is the grammatical company that words keep. And in terms of making your writing precise, then attention to the patterns that we need to use, the grammatical patterns that we need to use with our key vocabulary is essential. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, comment or feedback, you can send it to cae@hearts.ac.uk. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.